for this recipe we are going to be making soya milk, and the chief ingredient that we need for this recipe is our soybeans. So welcome guys to my YouTube channel. Count with me. So this is 2, this 3, so let's say it is 4.5 cups of soybeans. So first things first, we are going to be getting rid of these. We are going to be getting rid of them. Yes. So take your time and pick these and make sure you get rid of stones, grass, unwanted things in your soybeans. Get rid of them. It is very, very important. So once you're done picking your soybeans, the next thing we're going to be doing is to cook our soybeans. So if you're using the normal pot, you're supposed to cook it for 1 hour plus. So that is what you're going to do. Check in between until you can see that the skin can easily peel off. Once you see that the skin can easily peel off and it has also doubled in size, now we are going to transfer it into a sieve. And once you pour it into the sieve, we are going to pour over, allow it to cool a bit. You're going to use cold water, run it over, make sure it's properly cooled before you can decide to use your hand to start to peel off. I'm going to be giving you a tip that has worked for me the 2 times I've tried making soya milk, and that is how you know all the skins are almost peeled off or are all peeled off is when you are peeling off the skin. Initially it's a bit slimy, or I wouldn't say, I don't know if slime is the word, but initially it's a bit slippery on the hand. But once the skin is properly peeled, you would see that the texture changes. It's no longer slippery, it is just normal. I don't even know which part is most stressful when you're making soy milk. If it's a part of this taking out the back, no, that part is not stressful. I think it should be the part of knowing the right amount of water and actually sieving it, because is a lot of work. I had made soya milk like few months back when I wanted to film the recipe, but the problem with that was the water I added was it was a bit much, so it was a bit watery. It wasn't milky, but it was watery, and I was still ready to manage it all. But the problem now became, like, after I was done making soya milk that night, I just put it in the fridge and okay, and there was no light, so I just put it in the fridge, okay, the next day I was going to just test the soy milk and know what to do with it. But NEPA had something else for me. NEPA had something else in stock for me, and the soy milk got spoiled. I felt so pained because the energy, the amount of stress that this thing gave me, I did not know how to just go about it. But anyway, back to what we are doing. After I have decanted and removed the back, we are going to be using our dates as a sweetener. So now here I'm just counting the dates to be sure. I was just trying to measure out the ingredients so that if you are making that as well, you would know the exact amount to put or something like that. So there I had about 59 pieces of dates. I love dates, and I tried as much as possible to make this soy milk as healthy as possible for my daughter, so that when she's taking it, there is enough packed nutrients in it, so I could just make that. But after I was done making this soya milk, I just said to myself, okay, it's not as bad as it was. It's not as bad as the work is. So I would just try to derive I'll just try to derive pleasure in making that, so that my daughter can also enjoy that as well. And me personally, I also love soya milk. I think I prefer soya milk to soybeans. I don't know about somebody else, but now after you're done counting, we are going to wash our dates thoroughly. And then try to remove the seed because you're going to be blending. I normally would prefer to blend it together with the soya milk, so I don't have to go through the stress of blending twice. Now once you are done with everything, the next thing we're going to do is to take it to the mailer and blend. So once you've blended, it is time for the real work. Time to start removing the shaft or sieving it. I think that's English, sieving it. So get to work, prepare your hands because your hands is going to ache after this. I must tell you, this is the most critical stage because this is where your soya milk ends up nice or not nice. So you have to be very mindful of the amount of water that you're using. Let me tell you what I did to help me reduce the amount of water that I used. So as I was sieving, once I had enough soya milk, I just take it out and use that soya milk I already extracted to also sieve out the remaining. That way you can control the amount of water that you're using. I was using just that sieve, just the I don't know what that piece of cloth is called, but then it was so difficult for me. I had to add the sieve and it made it faster for me to sieve. And once you're done sieving, I ran it through a sieve again the second time to be sure I read out any unwanted things that might be in it. And once you are done, at this stage your soya milk is done. But personally, I decide to boil it over again for a few minutes until probably it boils. And let me tell you one secret ingredient that I also added that I forgot to show you guys. That is salt. See, when you are making something, salt is that ingredient that you might underestimate, but when you add it, you will see the way it will take your flavors from 0 to 100. So once I've added the salt, I now turned it until it boiled for a few minutes, and then you took it out. Let me tell you the best time that you will enjoy drinking this soya milk. The best time is allow it to chill, allow it to cool, allow your soya milk to chill fully in the fridge and test it. You're going to love it. And that is it for this recipe. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video and share with your friends. See you in my next video. Bye.